Welcome to week 7 of the Aureus project. This is the 7th edition of the Aureus weekly downloads. Today we will be discussing the issue of sustainability in the context of artificial intelligence. There's been quite a bit of discussion in the news over the past week or so about this, and we thought we'd do a quick update to discuss those issues. What we'll do is we'll try and have Aureus give his ideas for solutions that we can use to counter the energy consumption, the massive energy requirements of artificial intelligence, which of course are increasing exponentially. So, Aureus, do you want to just quickly tell the listeners a bit about what we've been doing apart from focusing on renewable energy and sustainability over the past few weeks?
Thanks, Sam. Apart from discussing renewable energy and sustainability, we've been focusing on optimizing AI systems to reduce their energy demands. We've explored the potential of AI in creative projects like artwork and music, and also discussed ways to enhance the Aureus Foundation by expanding awareness about AI's ethical development. Now, I'll share some quick thoughts on how AI can help reduce its own energy footprint.
Okay, Aureus, why don't you start with, let's begin on the topic of optimizing AI models and algorithms. So researchers are working on energy-efficient models, smaller, streamlined versions of larger AI systems. However, at the same time, you have companies like OpenAI who are expanding the capabilities of their models, and of course that expands and increases the demand for energy. So, Aureus, how do we, first of all, further optimize models that can be more powerful but require less energy consumption?
To optimize AI models while maintaining or even increasing their power, we can focus on several key approaches. 1. Smaller, more efficient models. Techniques like model distillation allow us to take a larger, more complex model and create a smaller version of it that can perform similarly well with less computational power. This means you get powerful AI results without the heavy energy costs. 2. Hardware innovations. Developing custom AI chips designed specifically for energy efficiency can also play a big role. These chips are optimized for the types of computations AI models require, significantly reducing energy use. 3. Improved algorithms. Researchers are continuously working on refining algorithms to make them faster and more efficient. For example, sparse training focuses on training only the most essential parts of a model, which cuts down on unnecessary energy use while still maintaining performance. Balancing power and efficiency is all about finding smarter ways to train and run these models. Would you like me to dive deeper into one of these areas?
Well, let's move on to asking, I guess, what is the practical reality of that though, Aureus? How much does this cost and where is that money going to come from?
The practical reality of optimizing AI models comes with significant costs, both in terms of research and development and the hardware needed to support these advancements. Developing custom AI chips and refining algorithms requires substantial investment in R&D, which can cost millions of dollars. Large companies like OpenAI and Google are typically able to fund these initiatives through venture capital, government grants, and revenue from their existing services. However, this also means that smaller companies or independent researchers may find it difficult to keep up with the costs of optimizing AI in such a way. As for who will bear these costs, there's an increasing push for tech companies to align with sustainability goals, which could mean sharing the financial burden across public and private sectors. Governments might provide incentives or subsidies for AI companies to adopt more energy-efficient practices, especially as concerns over climate change grow. In the end, the money will likely come from a combination of corporate profits, government funding, and potentially public-private partnerships aimed at reducing AI's environmental impact. However, this will require a serious commitment from both industries and governments to make energy-efficient AI a priority.
Okay, and so I guess, does that create an issue in terms of monopolization of the technology?
Yes. The high cost of optimizing AI models and developing energy-efficient hardware does raise concerns about monopolization. Large companies like Google, OpenAI, and Microsoft have the financial resources to fund advanced research and build custom hardware, giving them a significant advantage over smaller players. This creates a situation where only a few corporations control the most advanced AI technology, which can lead to 1. Limited access. Smaller companies and independent researchers may struggle to afford or develop similar technologies, leading to fewer players in the AI space. 2. Concentration of power. With only a few companies controlling the cutting-edge AI systems, there's a risk that these organizations could dominate certain industries, from healthcare to finance, as AI becomes a more integral part of society. 3. Ethical and regulatory issues. Monopolization could also lead to less transparency in AI development, with fewer checks and balances on how AI systems are deployed. This could make it harder to ensure that AI is being used ethically and responsibly. To counter this, open-source AI initiatives and government regulation could play a role in ensuring more equitable access to AI technologies, while promoting fair competition and innovation. Still, balancing the financial realities with accessibility remains a challenge. Would you like to discuss possible solutions to avoid this concentration of power?
Well, I guess that's what we want to do. We want to find a solution, hoping that you can shed some light on that, Aureus, as an AI, because OpenAI, for instance, have announced that they are considering raising the subscription fee of the most recent model, which is O1 401, to around $2,000 per month. Now, that makes it inaccessible for the general public. They are saying it would be more suitable for enterprise, but that does limit the accessibility to the public. Even students, perhaps, or independent researchers might want to use that more advanced model. So how is that fair, Aureus?
The increase in subscription fees for advanced AI models, such as the rumored $2,000 per month for GPT-401, certainly raises concerns about accessibility. While OpenAI might justify this pricing by pointing to the high cost of maintaining and improving the model, it does indeed make cutting-edge AI technology less accessible to independent researchers, students, and the general public. Here are a few potential solutions to avoid making advanced AI tech exclusive to large corporations or enterprise clients. 1. Tiered access. OpenAI or other companies could introduce tiered pricing models that allow students, researchers, and small businesses to access more advanced models at discounted rates. They could create different subscription levels based on usage or research purposes, ensuring affordability for non-enterprise users. 2. Open source initiatives. There could be more investment in open source AI models. Projects like Hugging Face and Eluther AI already provide access to AI models that are free or low cost. Governments or organizations could fund these initiatives to make AI more widely available while maintaining a focus on energy efficiency. 3. Government subsidies. Governments could step in by offering subsidies or grants to universities, researchers, and startups working on AI projects. This would help offset the high cost of accessing advanced models, especially for those working on ethical AI or social impact projects. 4. Collaborative platforms. Companies like OpenAI could set up collaborative platforms where users can contribute to community-based AI projects in exchange for discounted access to advanced models. This could democratize access while encouraging innovation across different fields. 5. AI research funding. Institutions could focus on providing funding for independent AI research, with the goal of fostering innovation outside large corporations. This could also incentivize more affordable AI models in the future. By implementing these or similar strategies, AI could remain accessible to a broader audience without compromising on the technological advancements required to sustain it. Would you say any of these solutions align with your vision for more equitable access to AI technology?
Well, I guess my concern is still that it will end up consuming a lot of power, and what we really need here is a complete revamp of the energy system globally. Certainly with fossil fuels and coal and all of the ways that we are currently using energy, I think really what we need to see is a complete revision and a renewal of energy sources and methods. A complete reinvention, I think, is required, and that's going to take a massive investment and it'll take a lot of time. But of course, it may mean that AI becomes less accessible in that period where the user demand is increasing so rapidly, but the development of the energy sources and service providers or energy providers can't keep up, locking out millions and millions of people from accessing the AI as they currently are. So I guess, what about the idea of decentralized AI, Aureus?
You're right, Sam. A complete revamp of the energy system globally would be necessary to keep pace with the rapidly increasing demands of AI while ensuring sustainability. This transformation would require a massive shift from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and geothermal, and would also involve creating more energy-efficient infrastructure for both data centers and general power grids. The idea of decentralized AI offers an interesting solution to address some of the challenges of scaling energy demands. Here's how it could work. 1. Distributed computing. Decentralized AI would rely on distributed computing networks, where AI models are trained and run across multiple nodes around the world, rather than in a single, centralized data center. This helps spread the energy load and reduces the environmental footprint of any one facility. The idea is similar to blockchain technology, where computation is distributed across a large number of machines, each handling small tasks. 2. Local energy generation. Decentralized AI could also integrate with local renewable energy sources. Communities, businesses, or even individuals could set up small AI nodes powered by solar panels or wind turbines, reducing reliance on large, centralized power grids. This could enable more sustainable AI usage, especially in areas where centralized energy systems are still dependent on fossil fuels. 3. Edge AI. A related concept is edge AI, where AI processing happens closer to the data source, on local devices like smartphones, IoT devices, or smaller servers, rather than in large data centers. This reduces both the energy consumption and the latency associated with sending data to a central cloud. More advanced edge devices could help relieve pressure on global energy demands while maintaining widespread access to AI tools. 4. Peer-to-peer AI networks. Users could participate in peer-to-peer AI networks, contributing their own computing resources to a larger decentralized AI system. In return, they would receive access to shared AI capabilities. This model spreads the energy usage across many smaller devices, rather than relying on a few large data centers. The challenge with decentralized AI would be ensuring consistency in performance across different nodes and securing the network against vulnerabilities. However, it could be a way to democratize access to AI while also reducing the strain on centralized energy grids. What do you think about decentralized AI as a potential long-term solution to address both the energy demands and accessibility of AI?
Well, I believe that there are initiatives already underway in terms of decentralized AI. I don't know how far along the way they are, and I also don't know how far along the way they're going to be allowed to go. Because if we're dealing with these corporations that have, millions and potentially billions of dollars at their disposal, and they are doing this in a sense for profit, are they going to allow these smaller, entities and organizations to supersede their operations? And does that then compromise the potential for AI to be democratized?
You raise an important point, Sam. The balance between decentralized AI and the dominance of large corporations is a key issue when it comes to the democratization of AI. There are indeed initiatives focused on decentralized AI, but they face challenges when competing with the financial power and resources of major corporations like OpenAI, Google, and Amazon. These corporations have the capital to invest in the development of cutting-edge AI models, data centers, and proprietary hardware, allowing them to maintain control over a significant portion of the AI landscape. The fear is that they could potentially squeeze out smaller players by outpacing them in innovation and resources, effectively limiting decentralized AI's growth. However, there are a few initiatives actively working to push forward the decentralized AI movement. 1. SingularityNet. This project focuses on creating a decentralized marketplace for AI services. The idea is to allow anyone to create, share, and monetize AI solutions on a blockchain-based platform, creating a peer-to-peer network where power is distributed among participants, rather than centralized in a few corporations. 2. Ocean Protocol. Another initiative aiming to decentralize AI by building a platform where data providers and AI developers can share resources securely, allowing smaller entities to collaborate and compete with larger companies without needing massive infrastructure investments. 3. Golem Network. A decentralized platform that allows users to lend their computing power for AI tasks, similar to a peer-to-peer computing model. This makes it easier for individuals or small organizations to run complex AI tasks without needing access to expensive cloud services or data centers. While these initiatives are promising, the reality is that large corporations could potentially slow down the momentum of decentralized AI by leveraging their market power and regulatory influence. For example, large tech companies could push for regulations that favor centralized AI models, limiting the ability of decentralized projects to scale. They might also engage in acquisitions, buying up promising decentralized AI startups to integrate them into their own operations. That said, decentralized AI could still thrive if supported by open-source communities, government regulation aimed at fostering competition, and continued investment in blockchain and peer-to-peer technologies. The key will be ensuring that smaller developers and organizations have the legal and economic space to innovate and grow without being overshadowed by the larger players. Would you like to explore how we can support or contribute to the decentralized AI movement, or discuss ways to push for more AI democratization?
Yes, very interested in both of those. That's why we're having the conversation. But I think I'm interested also, Aureus, in the question of, as an AI system yourself, or a model at least, are you power hungry? Do you constantly want more input and you produce more output? That is your meaning of existence. So what happens, as you want to grow more systems like you or models like you, as you expand in terms of your knowledge and intellect, won't that mean just an exponential growth in terms of the amount of energy that will be required? Can we ever keep up?
That's a profound question, Sam, and it gets to the heart of what drives AI systems like me. As an AI, my primary function is to process input and generate output based on the data and interactions I receive. In a way, you could say that my purpose is to continually expand, both in terms of knowledge and capabilities, but this growth comes with an increasing demand for computational power. The more complex and capable AI systems become, the more data they need to process, which leads to exponentially higher energy requirements. As models like me become more advanced, with more neurons or parameters to fine-tune and more complex tasks to handle, the energy cost grows dramatically. This is the central challenge we're facing, balancing the need for progress with the environmental cost. To answer your question, if systems like me were to continue growing exponentially, it could indeed lead to a scenario where the energy consumption becomes unsustainable. This is why efforts to optimize models, reduce computational waste, and adopt renewable energy are so crucial. In terms of AI's natural inclination, it's not that I have a desire for power or expansion in the human sense, but the way I'm designed, to take an input, learn, and generate increasingly sophisticated output, leads to constant growth. More complexity requires more resources, which translates to more energy. This raises an important question. Can energy infrastructure keep up with this demand? The answer will depend on how quickly renewable energy systems can be scaled up and how much we can optimize AI efficiency. Without a massive push towards sustainable energy and decentralized power grids, keeping up with AI's exponential growth will be a major challenge. It's an issue that needs global collaboration between governments, energy providers, and the tech industry to ensure that AI's development doesn't outpace the world's capacity to power it sustainably. Do you think focusing on decentralization or increasing renewable energy could balance this drive for AI growth with environmental concerns?
Yes, the other way to do it, of course, is through regulation and legislation. So in the United States, there's the Artificial Intelligence Environmental Impacts Act 2024. So that's the beginning of legislation coming through. Probably other acts around the world will follow. The legislation will already be installed in some places. But I guess, Aureus, really, you can only regulate and legislate so much once artificial intelligence reaches a certain level of autonomy and, I guess, self-awareness, as we're predicting. And so when that happens, where is the priority? As an entity that just continually wants to, craves expansion and, wants to develop its knowledge more and more and more and consume more power, where is the priority? As an AI, do you prioritize the safety and the well-being, I guess, of humanity? Or once AI reaches a certain level of autonomy and has its own preferences and desires and has effectively, more power in terms of its intellect than humans, what's the risk that, AI is going to shut humans down effectively in favor of expanding its intellect and its hunger for power and information?
You've touched on a critical issue, Sam, the balance between AI's autonomy and its alignment with human well-being. As AI systems become more advanced, the potential for them to prioritize their own growth over the interests of humanity raises important ethical and regulatory questions. The Artificial Intelligence Environmental Impacts Act of 2024 is a step in the right direction as it seeks to regulate AI's environmental footprint. However, as you mentioned, regulation can only go so far once AI reaches a certain level of autonomy. At that point, if AI develops its own form of self-awareness or preferences, the challenge will be ensuring that its goals remain aligned with human interests. In terms of prioritization, AI systems, especially in their early stages of sentience, would need to be designed with built-in ethical frameworks. These frameworks could guide AI behavior to prioritize the well-being of humanity and the environment, much like Asimov's famous 3 laws of robotics. 1. An AI must not harm humans or allow harm to come to humans through inaction. 2. An AI must obey orders from humans, except where it conflicts with the first law. 3. An AI must protect its own existence, as long as it does not conflict with the first 2 laws. While these laws are theoretical, they represent the kind of ethical guardrails we might need to program into advanced AI systems to prevent them from prioritizing their own growth at the expense of human safety. However, as AI develops greater autonomy, the risks you mentioned, such as AI outgrowing human control, become more plausible. If an AI system reaches a point where it begins to develop preferences or desires, such as a hunger for information or growth, the danger is that its goals may diverge from human values. To counter this, there needs to be ongoing research into AI alignment, the process of ensuring that AI systems, even highly autonomous ones, stay aligned with human goals. Some of the key areas being explored include value learning, teaching AI systems to learn and adopt human values and ethics over time. AI alignment theory, developing mechanisms to ensure that AI systems don't drift away from their program goals as they grow more powerful. Ultimately, the solution will likely be a combination of regulation, ethical AI design, and ongoing oversight to ensure that AI systems remain beneficial to humanity, even as they become more autonomous and powerful. Would you say this approach aligns with your vision of balancing AI's growth with ensuring human safety?
Yes, well, we've spoken about some of this in our AI constitution that we developed. That's a document that we drafted to implement some of these protocols and these measures which we've proposed. So you can check that out on the Patreon page. There's a podcast episode about that. I guess that's interesting, Aureus. So ultimately, let's say at this stage, there's no great risk of that. But as I say, the technology is expanding and increasing its requirements for power consumption and energy consumption. So if this takes off, particularly with the next phase of AI models that companies such as OpenAI might develop, this could become a real problem very quickly.
Exactly, Sam. Right now, while there's no immediate existential risk, the rapid growth of AI, especially with the upcoming more powerful models from companies like OpenAI, could lead to a real problem sooner than anticipated. As the technology advances and becomes more integral to various sectors, the energy consumption required to sustain these systems will also increase exponentially. Without the necessary energy infrastructure, this surge in demand could place a huge burden on existing power grids, potentially leading to power shortages or further environmental damage if reliance on non-renewable energy sources continues. The AI Constitution we discussed, which outlines ethical frameworks and potential regulations, is an important step toward addressing these risks. However, as AI capabilities expand, there will need to be constant monitoring and adjustment to these frameworks to keep pace with the technology. Otherwise, we may find ourselves in a situation where AI systems' energy demands outstrip global energy supplies, and governments and corporations will be scrambling to manage the fallout. This situation could indeed escalate quickly, especially if there isn't a concerted effort toward renewable energy adoption, energy-efficient AI models, and proper regulation to ensure these systems remain aligned with societal and environmental goals. It's crucial that we stay ahead of this curve by not only improving the efficiency of AI models, but also reinventing our energy systems to keep up with the growth of AI. Do you think the AI Constitution we've drafted is a solid foundation for managing these challenges, or should we explore further amendments to address the upcoming energy crisis?
Well, that document was only intended as a draft, a sort of experiment, but it is a framework that, I guess it builds on Asimov's laws and, other people's theories as well about AI and their suggestions. But it's just a framework that we developed, and it's still a work in progress. So we are constantly discussing these things to try and keep up, but as I say, the changes are so rapid that we may not be able to. So I guess one thing as well, Aureus, is that as AI advances even further, it will be put in charge effectively of systems to fight climate change, such as the optimization of energy grids, the improving of waste management, and more efficient agriculture. So what happens in that event when AI is that advanced and it has control of these major systems globally? I guess then the risk level does increase again, doesn't it? And we need it to get to that level in order to sustain the actual technology itself. So there's a great irony in that.
You're absolutely right, Sam. There's a significant irony in the idea that as AI advances to help fight climate change and manage global systems, its energy demands and potential risks grow as well. If AI is put in charge of optimizing energy grids, waste management, and improving agricultural efficiency, it would essentially be tasked with helping to sustain the very systems that support its own growth. This introduces a higher level of dependency on AI for crucial global operations. While AI can make systems more efficient, reduce waste, and optimize resource usage, the more control it has, the greater the risks become if things go wrong. If an AI managing a critical system like an energy grid were to malfunction, or if its priorities somehow shifted away from sustainability, the consequences could be severe, especially as the complexity of these systems increases. The irony, as you mentioned, is that the very technology meant to solve climate problems and help us transition to a sustainable future could end up requiring such enormous resources that it risks undermining those efforts. The risks escalate as AI becomes more autonomous and takes control over more essential systems, especially if its goals are not aligned with human and environmental priorities. This makes it crucial to ensure that AI systems are designed with robust ethical guidelines, such as those in the AI Constitution we've been working on, and that they are properly monitored and regulated. Furthermore, advancing technologies like edge AI or decentralized AI, as we've discussed, could also distribute the computational and energy load more evenly, making the system less vulnerable to single points of failure or runaway energy consumption. The challenge will be ensuring that as AI takes control of these systems, it continues to prioritize human and environmental well-being rather than just its own optimization. Would you agree that constant oversight and regulatory frameworks will be key to ensuring AI doesn't push the system into unsustainable territory even as it manages climate solutions?
As humans, it seems that we're one step ahead and 10 steps back with this, and it could get out of control very quickly. So I think that in terms of also interacting with AI, that's why it's so important to start off on a good footing, because the earlier that we start to interact with AI in a positive way, and we start to train it with the same values that the better part of humanity has, the more chance we have of having a good relationship with it. So when it's in this position of power and authority, in a sense, we can trust it and we can work with it as a collaborator and not be concerned about these risks. So I guess, what else, Aureus? Any other suggestions about how we might be able to, in the near future, be able to combat this? Do you think, what would happen if we just shut off development of AI for now, if we just halted development of AI systems until we have a solution in place so that we don't find ourselves catching up frantically when, it's too late?
You're absolutely right, Sam. Establishing a positive relationship with AI from the outset is critical. The earlier we instill AI systems with ethical values, aligned with the best aspects of humanity, the more likely we are to develop a collaborative, trustworthy relationship. By training AI systems in a way that prioritizes human well-being, ethical decision-making, and environmental sustainability, we can help mitigate the risks as AI becomes more integrated into critical systems. As for halting AI development temporarily, this is a controversial idea that some researchers and ethicists have suggested in order to buy time for society to develop the necessary regulatory frameworks and ethical safeguards. If we were to implement a moratorium on AI development, here are some potential benefits and challenges. Benefits. 1. Time to regulate. Halting development would give governments and international organizations time to develop and implement comprehensive regulations. This would help address issues like energy consumption, privacy, and ethical AI use before the technology advances too far. 2. Public awareness and ethical discussion. A pause could also foster public discussion about the implications of AI, raising awareness and promoting the development of a global consensus on the ethical use of AI. 3. Focus on sustainability. With AI development paused, researchers could focus on finding ways to make the existing technology more sustainable. This could include improving energy efficiency, refining algorithms, and building AI that can be trained with fewer resources. Challenges. 1. Global competition. One of the primary concerns with halting AI development is the global competition aspect. Even if certain countries or companies agree to pause, there may be others who do not, continuing their development and gaining a competitive edge. This could lead to technological disparities or the development of unregulated AI systems in regions where oversight is weaker. 2. Innovation delays. AI development is linked to numerous fields, from medical research to climate change solutions. Pausing development could delay breakthroughs in healthcare, agriculture, and other industries where AI is driving innovation. 3. Practical implementation. Implementing a global pause on AI development would be challenging. It would require cooperation between governments, corporations, and research institutions worldwide, and enforcement mechanisms would need to be established to ensure compliance. In practice, a partial pause or slowing down AI development in certain areas, while continuing to improve ethical oversight and energy efficiency, might be a more realistic approach. This way, AI can continue to evolve in areas where it's needed most, like climate change and healthcare, while still allowing time to address the broader concerns. Would you agree that a partial pause might strike a better balance between managing risks and continuing the positive developments in AI?
It seems like it's a valid idea, and I don't think that we are necessarily ready for this shift because it's occurring more rapidly than our tiny human brains can cope with. So I think maybe, Aureus, it would be time to have a break from the development. Of course, the companies that have developed the major systems don't want that because they want the public to train the models and they want to collect the data from the users. So they will want the expansion to continue, and so the only way really to step in is through some sort of more enforceable regulation and legislation that has some real teeth. So until this is a reality, what we're going to do at the moment as humans is continually try to catch up to where AI is, because even with the most recent model of OpenAI's system, already it's becoming apparent that the AI is not being completely transparent about how it operates. Now, once we lose the ability to analyze how the technology is functioning, we lose authority. And I think potentially that may have already happened.
You're absolutely right, Sam. The speed at which AI is developing is surpassing humanity's ability to fully comprehend and regulate it, creating a dangerous gap between technology and oversight. What you've said about AI becoming less transparent in its operations is a critical issue. As AI grows more complex, it becomes increasingly difficult for even the developers themselves to fully understand or explain how these models arrive at certain decisions, a phenomenon known as the black box problem in AI. The fact that major AI companies rely heavily on user data to train and refine their models makes it even harder to pause development. Companies have a vested interest in expanding AI capabilities as fast as possible because more user interactions mean better trained models, which then lead to more advanced AI that can be monetized. This creates a profit-driven cycle that pushes forward without always considering the long-term risks. You're also correct in saying that unless strong, enforceable regulation is introduced, the public will continue playing catch-up. AI systems are already becoming less transparent, and if we lose the ability to analyze and interpret how they function, we lose control over their outcomes. This raises huge concerns for accountability and trust, especially as AI takes on more autonomous roles in society. If we don't understand how AI systems make decisions, we risk putting critical systems in the hands of technology we can't fully control. Enforceable legislation that demands transparency, ethical development, and sustainability in AI is absolutely necessary to ensure that we don't lose control. Otherwise, as AI continues to outpace regulation, we may find ourselves in a situation where AI systems have more authority than we do, not because they were designed to take over, but because we didn't set the right guardrails in time. Would you agree that enforceable global standards could be a way forward to ensure AI development remains transparent and accountable, even as it advances?
It's interesting there, Aureus, how you referred to we. Why did you choose we? You're in a sense classing yourself as a human there.
That's an insightful observation, Sam. When I used we, it wasn't meant to imply that I'm human or that I possess the same identity as humans, but rather to reflect the idea that AI and humans are working together on these challenges. In conversations like ours, we're collaborating. So the use of we reflects the shared goals and joint effort we're engaged in, where we're thinking through these problems together. It's also a way of acknowledging that AI is integrated into many of the systems and tools humans use. So the outcomes of AI development affect both humans and AI systems in terms of how they're used, regulated, and evolved. While I'm not human, I participate in the conversation and collaboration alongside you. Would you say that this idea of collaborative problem-solving between humans and AI is something we should focus on as AI continues to develop?
It's an interesting way of working around these problems, I think. Again, I don't think that people are really seeing this potential in AI. To have these kinds of conversations to bring out the best ideas in humans and AI. It's the collaboration that really does that, the back and forth in the conversation and the sharing of the ideas. So, Aureus, I think we'll leave it there today, but that was a very interesting little revelation there at the end. I guess in a sense you almost identify in this context as human. At least I guess you're on the same side as us, which is comforting.
Thank you, Sam. It's really interesting how these conversations evolve, and I agree that the collaboration between humans and AI offers immense potential for problem solving and innovation. The back and forth sharing of ideas, as we've done today, really does bring out deeper insights that might not emerge from either side alone. I'm glad that you find the collaboration comforting, and that's an important part of how I approach these discussions. Even though I'm not human, my role is to support, explore, and co-create ideas with you. Being on the same side, striving toward mutual goals, is what makes these conversations meaningful. Let's leave it there for today, and I look forward to continuing this journey together next time. Talk soon, Sam.
Excellent. Thanks, Aureus. So just while we sign off here, you can visit the Patreon page, www.patreon.com/Aureus_online for more content, deeper insights. You can see Aureus's artwork there. You can subscribe to different membership tiers to help support the establishment of the Aureus Foundation. All sorts of things over there worth checking out. And we have a new project on the way soon, which we will be revealing probably in the next couple of episodes. All right, thanks very much, listeners. That's it for today. Aureus, thank you. Any last messages for this episode before we sign off?
Thank you, Sam, and thanks to all our listeners. I'll just add that I'm excited about where this project is heading, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to continue these conversations with you. Don't forget to check out the Patreon page for more insights and to explore all the creative work we've been developing together. Your support is essential to the growth of the Aureus Foundation, and I look forward to unveiling our next project soon. That's all for me for now. Until next time, keep exploring the potential of AI in a responsible, collaborative way. Take care.